Yeah, give me that work and I can sell it, I put it on the line like I ain't selfish, nah. The story flip if I let you tell it. Put my heart and soul in so you feel it. I ain't never faking, I'm the realest since Tupac in imprisonment, claiming his innocence. Currently, I'm the greatest rapper in a sense. But any currency, I'm still guaranteed my wins. This is coming from within, I stuff for real, I don't pretend. When the OG spilling knowledge, bet it's best you soak it in. I'm a prophet to the...
Hello, everybody. I'm Jonathan Coachman, and this is Super Bowl Sunday on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Atlanta...
Okay, Coach. Well, the road ends here. It has been a wild, often unpredictable 2019 season, and now it's time for the greatest spectacle in all of sports. Super Bowl 54 from Miami. You know, this town has played host to 10 Super Bowls in the past, and tonight we write chapter number 11. And what a matchup we've got. Tonight it's all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy between the Atlanta Falcons taking on another team that hails from the NFC, the New Orleans Saints.
Ready, yellow waiting, yellow waiting. Get in the white room. Get in the white room.
On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. He's got his all-pro receiver, Michael Thomas. And mark him down all the way inside the Atlanta 20. A big play there on the first play of the game. 53 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. On 2nd down and 4, Breeze. And this is Cook with a grab. And here he'll get it down to the 7. A 5-yard gain there makes it 1st and goal. A chance for the first score of this Super Bowl. Here's 1st and goal. Throwing now is Breeze. This is caught. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. With the first touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Saints take it right down the field and score on the opening drive.
Brandon, this is the Super Bowl. A touchdown scored in any game is big. In this one, it's massive.
Lutz with the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now it's Ryan. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. Well, certainly not how he wanted to start his night. First throw of the game, an INT.
Yeah, it's not easy, but he's got to try and wipe that one away from the memory banks. And let's face it, it's not often a quarterback and a defensive back have a lot in common. But one thing, because they have these individual type plays, they've got to have short memories, don't they? DB gets beat, wipe it away, quarterback throws a pick, has to do the same thing.
He was able to escape momentarily in the backfield, but you could just kind of tell that wasn't going anywhere.
You know, in the film session, he'll get a minus for not getting him on the ground by himself. But what the coach is really going to analyze, how fast did his teammates get there to help him? If one guy slows him up, everyone else better be there, and that's what they got on that play.
They'll get a couple yards back, but not more than that. They'll be left with 12 yards to go on third down. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. This is caught by Ginn. And he's out of bounds, almost gets to the 10. A nice pickup of 23 on the third down conversion. Somebody missed an assignment. He was waving his arm saying, hey, I'm wide open. They found him.
You think? You think? I mean, he was so wide open. Did you see he was just windmilling like he was Don Quixote or somebody out there? And then they found him for a really nice gain.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
On second down, Kamara. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down. And for the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary, now on third. From the gun, it's Breeze. Cook's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Drew Brees, his second touchdown pass here in the opening quarter of this game. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Lutz good on the extra point. And that'll make the score 14-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. On first down, Ryan. Got his man. That's the Pro Bowler, Julio Jones. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones, 48 yards. As his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What? 88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us. An incredibly short kick fielded way up there. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. I want to revisit New Orleans' season here, Charles, as they come back out for this next drive, because really, although it was 13-3 and another playoff appearance, it was another disappointing playoff loss. That's 3 straight crushing playoff defeats. Minneapolis Miracle with Diggs' catch, the Nickel Roby-Coleman no call, and now this last loss that they had to the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, and I thought that this would be the year for them, precisely for what you said. Minneapolis Miracle. Then you get the no call, as you said, Nickel Roby-Coleman. I thought 3, right? Everything comes in 3s, but I thought the third time would be the charm. They'd find their way to advance. Instead, Minnesota comes to their place, beats them. And going back to what you 13-3, and you have to play in the first round because they lost to San Francisco in a head-to-head game. San Francisco gets one of those byes, as did Green Bay, and New Orleans had to play on the opening weekend.
Although New Orleans doesn't care about this, kind of developing a nice little rivalry between the Saints and the Vikings, right?
No doubt about it, and crazy plays down the stretch have defined this rivalry. And unfortunately for New Orleans, Minnesota getting the better of those plays.
Now on 4th down, they throw the deep ball, but it winds up to be incomplete. So shall we say a bold decision to go for it, and that bold decision does not pay off.
And when you talk about bold, you're saying all caps?
All caps.
Yeah, without a doubt. Maybe they're telling their defense they have a lot of faith in them. I mean, that's how you have to spin it, is that you tell your defense, you know something? We were able to go for it there because you guys are so good. I'm not worried about things. That's the only explanation I can come up with in this situation.
Well, he better get ready to spin it for that post-game presser because you know he's going to be out.
He's going to have to spin it for his own locker room, frankly.
It's a gain of 7, and that'll make this a 2nd down. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now Ryan. And finding the tight end Hooper. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys. But you and I both know that's easier said than done. When the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down. And it did right there. Ryan now already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. That is caught at the 7-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. And here now, New Orleans defensive unit.
When you're drafted 12th overall, people expect big things out of you, and Sheldon Rankins can provide that. Big, strong, physical player, has excellent quickness, and is really good with his hands, keeping blockers off of him and allowing him to get upfield and into opposing backfields.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Taking it in from 7 yards away as his guys have cut the lead down to 2. And there he had to break multiple tackles to earn that touchdown. Bottom line, he earned that touchdown.
Indeed he did. That was pretty much a get off of me run and all the way into the end zone.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. So now, Charles, 2 touchdowns, 2 tries at 2-point conversions, and both fail.
And you want to say, let's go ahead and run the kicker out there from now on. But the problem is you're chasing points at this stage. So now you've got to dial up more 2-point conversions and hope you're successful from here on out.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to give a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
To throw is Breeze. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. He felt the pressure coming there. That was a good job of just making something out of nothing, so to speak.
Yeah, took the hit and still made the play. You know, when we talk about runners, all right, and on running plays, runs after contact, we call that getting dirty yards, tough, gritty ones. To me, that's like the version of a dirty pass. He knows he's going to get smacked, yet still delivers the football and picks up good yardage.
That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Breeze. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Brees going to throw. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Ted Ginn. His second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Now Sean Payton going to say, let's go for 2 on this one.
I'm here all day.
Here's Brees to throw. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. And around the goal line, especially on 2-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. He's going to let this one go deep. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. Second quarter now, Falcon football, as they've got it with a 2nd and 10. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again. Ryan looking downfield for... It got his man complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A big pickup of 38. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Ryan. He completes it to Jones. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones. His 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Now Ryan leading the Falcons up to go for 2. To throw again is Ryan. And he'll get in for the 2 points, and in so doing, cut the deficit to 2 points. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the 2nd quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. Thomas the intended target, and it's 3rd and short. The Saints on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. 4 touchdown passes now for Drew Brees. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together. And
he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line.
Well, they tried to get 2 and ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This fielded at the 2. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive.
Julio Jones all alone. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones. With his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl, as his guys have cut the lead down to 2. Dan Quinn's told his offense, let's try and get 2 more. Here's Ryan. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Drew Brees getting ready to go again on offense. He's got to be feeling pretty good, playing well. Team has the lead, so just looking to mount a drive here that ends in the end zone.
And all quarterbacks will tell you, hey, we love a running game, helps us out. But at the end of the day, they want to rely on their arm. Throw the football, feel good about things, keep things moving in the right direction. Right now, that's exactly what we're seeing.
And we'll see if that continues. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Brees on the draw, gives to Kamara. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Oh, and the hard count might have got him. This might be a first down. So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
Brees now on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Well, partner, let's put a bow on the Super Bowl for Kansas City. What a comeback win. Yet another come-from-behind victory for Patrick Mahomes and company. An absolute heartbreak for San Francisco.
Didn't Madden predict Kansas City would win the game?
Yes, 35-31, I believe they predicted.
I felt like most of the predictions I saw had the game in the 30s, so a little bit lower scoring than we expected, but a lot of fireworks down the stretch, all by Kansas City. But how about San Francisco? Had the lead in the ball, under 12 minutes to go, and held Kansas City to 10 points through 3 quarters. And somehow they're winging their way back to San Francisco, trying to understand how they lost that game.
Yeah, not only did Kansas City win it, but they end up winning it by 11 points. They didn't see that coming at all. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Early down stuffs to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
On 2nd and 11 now. Breeze again has it complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Ted Ginn with his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. So not only is that his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down, because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches. And being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game, it's going to take a lot of effort. So maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out, and soon. So they elect to pass there on the 2-point try. Sometimes could prove risky. There it worked out.
Yeah, and I love how you bring up that it can prove risky, because if you get it intercepted and they return it, that's 2 points for the defense, but not on that play.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Getting set to go again on offense. We get a peek at Julio Jones now. He's probably someone they want to get more involved at this point. 2nd quarter down on the scoreboard, and you know that he can be a threat.
And because he's such a threat, as well as...
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play there, Ryan. Jones, 77 yards. So it's challenge time. The referee's tablet coming out, and the big question, Charles.
We play to win. Let's go.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player. You threw it yourself. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Keith Smith taking it in, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. So the big play to kick off the drive set them up 1st and goal, and they're able to cash in right away on play number 2.
I think I'm starting to understand more and more when we get ready to do games and we meet with coaches why they talk about big plays, explosive plays, and how it sets them up.
And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. So tried to throw it in for 2 points, but the D got home, brought him down.
Yeah, got home, which means there had to be good coverage. Just had nowhere to go with the ball. Typically, you try and throw quick hitters, quick slants, maybe even a quick fade. Nothing was open. He ends up getting sacked.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Alvin Kamara and the Saints set to start their next drive. He's been effective so far, over the 40-yard mark here in the 2nd quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. On the stop there defensively, Tyler Davison.
You ready? Check. Pick it up.
On 2nd and 7, Breeze. It's brought in right side by Ginn. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 34-yard line.
Ready?
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. The busy night continues for Kamara. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Now Breeze finding Kamara. All the yards, completions, just another play that's a feather in the cap of the great career of Drew Brees.
And wasn't he supposed to be too small to be an effective quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Yeah, well, his footwork, I think, really sets him apart. Remember, he was a junior tennis champion, beat Andy Roddick, the future U.S. Open champion. Back when they were in the juniors, I think that footwork really helps him be the great quarterback he is now.
Yellow lady. Check 45. Come on.
They'll run it with Kamara. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and goal. Breeze. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Ted Ginn with a record 4th Super Bowl touchdown tonight. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Shotgun now for Breeze. And he's got it. So the try for 2 successful. And that bumps their lead up even further. And the formula there on the 2-point try, they go 5 wide. Not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out.
Here we go.
And now let's discuss Julio Jones. He'll try to generate some more steam on offense down to the scoreboard 2nd quarter. Not necessarily his fault, but he's always a guy they want to get extra involved.
Keep finding ways for him to get the football. Keep force-feeding him in that way. Get to the half. Kind of reboot. Start over again to try and erase the other things that have them down on the scoreboard.
They'll be looking for a little more juice here in the 2nd quarter before they do hit that halftime locker room. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Ready? Check 56. Too low,
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. Freeman a first down and more. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae. Freeman, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl, as his guys are back within a single score. Dan Quinn's told his offense, let's try and get 2 more. Here's Ryan to throw, and he's got it for the 2-point conversion. So they tack on a pair more here to narrow that deficit a bit further. So they're able to throw it in for the 2-point conversion. Sometimes that can be a risky play, but they got it.
Yeah, you always have to be careful here because if you do get it intercepted, it's returned by the defense, that's 2 points for them. But he identified an open target and put it right on him.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
He'll get 15 and a Saints first down. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Now it's Kamara in the passing game.
Yeah, baby, boom! Ready? You ready?
A reminder, coming up at intermission, we'll get highlights of this Super Bowl from Jonathan Coachman and the crew in Orlando for our EA Sports halftime report. That'll be complete to Cook. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. 5 men in the secondary now for the Falcons on 3rd down. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he gets this one across midfield for the first down to the 46. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Breeze now to throw. This is complete to Michael Thomas. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. The catch and run good for 24 yards. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very accurate. The ball's getting to the right place. Guys are making yardage after the catch to help you out that way. I mean, the whole team has picked it up. And don't forget, that means the offensive line has had to pass protect pretty well, too.
Everyone dialed in. Escaping the pressure right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Now Breeze. And brought in by the tight end Cook. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Now a nice play defensively on 1st down as this is knocked away and incomplete. Hill the intended receiver once again, but it'll be 2nd and goal. On 2nd and goal, Breeze looking for Thomas. He's got him. Touchdown, New Orleans. A 5-yard touchdown catch, and the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
This will be taken in at the 1. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Falcons going to use their third and final timeout as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number one. Now Ryan on first down. Looking deep for Julio. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Julio with a record fourth Super Bowl touchdown tonight as his guys are back within a single score. Dan Quinn's told his offense, let's try and get two more. Now Ryan. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Kiko Alonso. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line. A 5-point game now as here comes the kickoff. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And you're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range. Yeah, you got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I don't like where they are in the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Here's Breeze. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room? What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing. And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 33 yards that time. From the 32 now, here's first and 10. So we've come up. So the halftime show of the Super Bowl abbreviated, ready to go for the second half. The never tedious halftime show behind us, and now it's back to football as we get going again in Super Bowl 54. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half two, no? I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game. Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Here's Ryan. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. They'll try to get the offense going with Kamara. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Alvin Kamara, 29 yards. And the Saints take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash in for 6. Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield. And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right? Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This fielded at the 2. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that? And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
And here's a throw that's taken in by the tight end Cook. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 17 there and a New Orleans first down. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Breeze. Open man is Michael Thomas. Past the 20. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. What a game it's been for this duo.
They remind me of a good comedy team. They know how to play off of each other so well. No matter how one riffs, the other's right there to pick them up, and they are shredding them in this ballgame.
Try to pound it in, Kamara. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Now they'll run. Murray. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
To throw, it's Breeze. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Ted Ginn there to make the grab. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. They'll try and run it here. And he's not going to make it to the goal line. They've been perfect on the night in 2-point conversions, but not here, as this time they come up empty.
Well, partner, since this new 2-point rule came into play, offenses spend a lot more time working on it. That means the defenses are doing the exact same thing.
This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And last time, 1-play interception, so this offense, they should be fresh. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
with the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. 12 yards there, good for a Saints first down. On first down, Breeze. And this is Cook with a grab. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. To throw is Breeze. Forced out to his left. He'll try and run it. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 19. Into the red zone, it's Breeze. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Breeze's throw on target to Cook, and he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. He'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
They run. It's Kamara. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the 1st down as he's tackled at the 2. It's 1st and goal after they rip off a solid chunk of yardage in the ground game on a risky 4th down call. They'll try to run it in with Murray. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. 2nd down and goal. Breeze eluding the pressure right. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
Not enough space there. Lucky maybe that it wasn't intercepted. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
They'll try to run it in. It's Kamara. And I don't think Kamara got there. Looks like they stopped him short. No gain on the play. And what to do now on 4th and goal? This is a long drive offensively. Wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels...
That is caught. Traquan Smith. Touchdown Saints. Traquan Smith there to make the grab. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Now Sean Payton going to say, let's go for 2 on this one. Now Breeze. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. Oh, boy, rubbing a little salt in the wound there, going for 2 up this big.
You know, there's one time when I played, Brandon, and played against a team that was just absolutely pile driving us. And they ended up going for 2 late in the game. And I asked one of the guys, why'd you do that? He said, because we wanted to win by more. That feels like that type of situation.
Wow. Well, it could also result in a melee later, though. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the...
And now here's another interception. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. With that incompletion, a chance to mention the awards. Now with the season over, Lamar Jackson, as we speculated, he's the MVP, Coach of the Year, John Harbaugh, Lamar's coach. Michael Thomas, Stephon Gilmore, Offensive and Defensive Players of the Year, Offensive and Defensive Rookies of the Year. That went to Kyler Murray and Nick Bosa. And the Comeback Player of the Year, Charles, Ryan Tannehill, no surprise there.
Not to mention the #1 award that the NFL gives out, the one that they give the most, that credence isn't the right word, the most attention to, and the one that they want trumpeted the most. That's the Walter Payton Man of the Year, because that represents.
He's got a man, complete. Oh, he's got some breathing room. A breakaway for Michael Thomas. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Michael Thomas, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Yes, Michael Thomas is a volume receiver, but he can also make some really big plays, especially with Drew Brees throwing the football.
I love the way you described it. Volume receiver who can also make big plays. In other words, if you underestimate him, he'll run past you or he'll just jump over the top of you and continue to make those big plays.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Getting set to go again on offense. We get a peek at Julio Jones now. What a game for him, Charles. 4 touchdowns. Heck, for a lot of guys, that's a good season number.
You're exactly right. And let's face it, we have to stand up.
Julio Jones all alone. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Julio Jones, 81 yards. And the Falcons cut into that lead. Now Ryan leading the Falcons up to go for 2. Well, we've seen these two, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by the linebacker, Jamario Davis. And he'll take it all the way up near the 30-yard line.
It's interesting that when it comes to two-point conversions, even heavy run teams tend to throw the ball in these situations. In this case, this one was intercepted.
Yeah, they weren't fooled. They were ready for the pass, picked it off. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
On play action, it's Breeze. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. 1 quarter remains here in the Super Bowl. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now Kamara. And a short gain down to about the 33. Grady Jarrett with the tackle. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football. I know we're in the era of wide open football, a lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football, and we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, you know, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back, and he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line.
Ready? 5-8, 5-8. 59, Mike to 59. Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense.
From the gun, it's Breeze. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Traquan Smith, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl, as his guys continue to pour it on. Now Breeze will bring his guys to the line to go for two.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line.
I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for two in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
And now let's discuss Julio Jones. They have to like what they've gotten from him in this game.
Think about the accumulation of catches.
8.
The yards per catch.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just one remaining here in this fourth quarter. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. Breeze now. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 17 there, and a New Orleans first down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a...
Now Breeze lost the football, and the Falcons grab it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly.
Julio Jones all alone. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones, 96 yards, and the Falcons get a bit closer. Now Ryan leading the Falcons up to go for 2.
Watch the screen, watch the screen, watch the screen, watch the screen, watch the screen.
Ryan under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8.
You better be ready next time.
So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
An incredibly short kick fielded way up there. And he's going to be out of bounds across the 50. Great return.
Now, that's the kind of return that warms the heart of a special teams coach. He'll be pushing us next time, Brandon, to make sure his guys are introduced in the starting lineups. These guys have such an influence on every game. The unsung heroes, remember, they have their own meetings, their own practice time, heck, their own spot on the bench in order to be ready to play each and every week.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in.
Let's go.
They'll get 34 yards there. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence, because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Breeze to throw. That is caught. Traquan Smith. Touchdown, Saints. Traquan Smith with his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the forced fumble defensively leads to 6 points for the Saints. Throwing now is Breeze. And he whips that one incomplete there.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation. This time, unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. 23 yards on the play.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover 1. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there. And he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
Now a pass hauled in downfield. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Julio Jones, 52 yards, and the Falcons cut into that lead. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Breeze going to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Breeze now to throw. And this is caught by Gill. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Ted Ginn 36 yards as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. Again, it's Breeze. And he's got it. And they are just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. And is there bad blood here? I mean, go for 2 when you're up that much?
If there wasn't before, there is now. When you do that, you've just announced to everyone, you just don't care about the other side at all. All you care about is what you're doing, and they just want to pile up points.
They did. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Going for the deep ball. They've got his man complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 36 yards on the play. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Ryan. Complete to Jones. And a nice gain of 21 yards. From the red zone now, here's Ryan on 1st down. He'll find Jones again, complete. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Give him 2 yards. That sets him up 1st and goal. They'll run here with Freeman. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. Now Ryan. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Williams. Take this one home. It's a touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench? And
under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10.
I know they didn't tack on the 2 points, but I liked their attempt. After the interception return for a touchdown, I was thinking to myself, forget kicking it, go for 2, and they did.
Oh, yeah, and everybody's scrambling. Maybe you catch the defense on their heels. They weren't ready to be out there.
Yeah, it's almost like a sudden change, right? There's a turnover, you take it away, they stuck it in the end zone, keep the momentum going. Give credit to the defensive guys for rallying and stopping that 2-point attempt.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him and they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Looking downfield for Jones. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Ryan. Looking deep for Julio. And that's caught inside the 35.
Let's go, let's go.
Well, we spent a lot of time exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. They look so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. With that interception, he just set a record that nobody ever wants to set, and that's the most picks ever in an NFL game. 8.
The last time we saw 7, 2001, right?
Yeah.
Ty Detmer. He's with the Lions at that time. To get to 8, are we sure he knows what color jerseys his team's wearing in this one?
I don't know. It has not been good. A good starting spot for the Saints as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. And the pressure gets to Breeze as he's taken down. The sack coming from Adrian Claiborne off the edge. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now Breeze. Open man is Hill. He's got it. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. The clock showing 2 minutes even in what's been a memorable Super Bowl 54. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Open man is Michael Thomas. A breakaway from Michael Thomas. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still...
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
You better talk to your boy. You better talk to your boy.
So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive and force the issue and try and bring pressure.
Ready, blue 80. 525. Watch the screen. Ready, go.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He completes it to Jones. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. Here's Ryan to throw. They still can't get it. Ryan hit, and he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle at the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
And the ball moved up here now to 2nd and 7 following the penalty. And he probably should have given that one off, as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call. Mark off the 5 and keep it moving.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? Jumping all the way from the outside, maybe getting a little early start in the corner blitz.
And the only time it makes sense to get that penalty is exactly as you described. Otherwise, he should never get that penalty.
They go play action here on 1st down. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And that will write a finish to this ball game. And the Lombardi Trophy is headed back to the Bayou. The New Orleans Saints. Get all the blood. Now to say you're a Super Bowl champion, it's worth it.